All right, everyone. Actually, do you realize how powerful you are? I just want to share that with you. I am here because I want to share with you about connecting into your higher wholeness. This higher wholeness is it's a source, it's a source consciousness, it's an essence. It's actually the essence of God, Jesus, your angelic guides, um, the connection to the source that helps to empower you. And it is very important that we have that connection. And I call it a higher wholeness because when you're not connected into it, from my experience, when I'm not connected into the higher wholeness, I feel split, like a split in half, meaning what happens when there's a split in half and when we're not connected in completely into the higher wholeness of our divine self or divine being is whatever's happening on the outside of the world, the meanness or even people that could trigger you, um, you feel it deeper, if that makes any sense. So the meanness that's happening in the world, or somebody that says something to you and it triggers you because you feel like, well, I didn't mean to do that, and oh, I hope they like me. Um, it's a huge split within ourself and our higher wholeness, because when you connect in to your inner source, connect into the, I would say, God, Jesus, that actually blew breath into each and every one of us. When we're connected into that, it's connected into unconditional love. We're connected to unconditional love. And that's really important because us being humans, we want to feel we want to feel loved. We want to feel heard. We want to feel accepted. We want to feel like we belong. We belong. And when other people out there that are being mean, or you have maybe a family member or even a friend that says something to you and it hurts your feelings, or you feel triggered, those feelings are, it affects us deeply. And it affects us deeply because we want to be loved. And not only that, we want to have friends. Not only that, but we have an investment. I call it an investment into other people, in a sense of, well, if I treat you kindly, I hope you treat me kindly back, so to speak. It can be investment of, well, gosh, why are you so mean to me when I wouldn't be mean to you? And it's very sensitive. We become sensitive to those triggers, to those emotions. And when you connect in, when you start to connect into your inner source, like I find myself, I don't even know if I said my name. I'm Lakshmi. I find myself when I'm not connected inward, I'm more connected outward. And there's not a balance in between. And when there's not a balance in between, I get ultra sensitive. It's being an empath. You can sense other people's feelings, you can sense other people's emotions. And that is a time when we need to self-care. And when we start to self-care ourselves, we're connecting into an inner light within ourselves that every one of us has. Every one of us has this inner light. We're actually born, created through this light essence. And this inner light is filled with unconditional love. It's filled with guidance. It's actually a wisdom, a divine wisdom. It's like a coach, an inner coach that coaches you and says, "Hey, we got you. Don't you don't need to think about what that person says, or you don't need to worry about pleasing that person to have them like you, because you are unconditionally loved by your inner source." And one thing for sure, it's you can't find that in from through somebody else. And when you're connected inward like that and you start to create this partnership, create this conscious, I would say conscious relationship with your inner light, it will get you through anything, through any difficulties, through anything that can trigger you. You just won't feel as triggered. So somebody could say something to you, but you're connected into your source. It's like your perception starts to change, and you don't connect into their perceptions or their, I call it BS, which stands for me personally, their belief system. Because a lot of times people tend to put their belief systems onto you, and that starts to BS us, belief stress ourselves out when we have that wanting to feel liked or wanting to feel loved by others, because it comes from within actually. So our love, our divine source, when you connect into that inner light of yours, it's an empowering, strong connection that will get you through anything. And I mean anything. It's to the point where when things on the outside world, the meanness or the confusion, you don't get caught up into all of that. You get more caught up into, hey, I am connected in. I know I am guided. I know I have this inner wisdom in me that will never let me down. And that's really important for us to do. And I call it like we're self-caring ourselves, because we're self-caring ourselves in a way on how Jesus would want to self-care you. And what's amazing is when you start to connect into this inner light holds essence, fragments. You can actually connect into the essence of God, of Jesus, and connect into the powers of their loving light, of their, I would say, unconditional love, of their, you start to learn to not feel judged, because they don't judge you. Your guides don't judge you. And a lot of times, we want to be treated the way we treat others. And in a sense of, I listen to you, I'm loyal to you, to your family or to your friends. And I expect you to be that way towards me. But a lot of times what happens is everybody's going through their own stuff, their own I would say challenges. We are all going through it, through our own challenges. We're actually, all of us are being triggered in a sense of, God, we want to have a better world out there. We want to have a better life, a better home space, a better, maybe a better job, a better relationship, just connections to feel safe. And when you connect inward, everything that you want on the outside, you start to feel it through your inner light, your inner connection through your divine source. And that's why I'm talking about this. I'm talking about this because in my past, I've gone, which I know you all have, gone through so much. It's almost like, God, I'm surprised I'm still alive, you know? But what took me beyond the stuff, the difficulties, is connecting inward. And when I started to connect into my inner source, and how I do it is I started just slowly, just going inwards, and I'm like, well, how do I connect in? How do I feel this divine being, the essence? Because we all have an inner connection to God. We all have that connection to Jesus. We all have that connection to the angels, to the guides. They care for us and they love us. And our connection is the essence of it because we're made of energy. And energy is made of vibrations. And vibrations is made of frequency. And so when we connect into that inner source of ours, God and Jesus and the angels are of that energy. Their energy. And thank God we are of energy because that is a communication that is given to us as a gift from God. That is a communication. The energy, the vibrations, the frequency, that is a gift we received from God. And we use it all the time in a sense of you can connect into the energy of someone being upset and then you're feeling, oh my God, because you're feeling the energy of that, what's going on there. Everything is of energy. And so that is a plus. And what I mean by that is something that you can go in and actually change. You can manifest differently within that energy. And how I started doing it is I started connecting to my heart. And I know people are like, well, okay, I have a heart, so what's the big deal? It's a huge big deal. Our heart is a higher source. Our heart frequency is way much stronger than what's in our brain. And our brain is more of the ego. And there's nothing wrong with ego. And what I mean by ego is more attached to material things, more attached to the 3D world, what's matter, what's solid. Our inner source is an energy frequency that is higher vibrations, higher consciousness. And so I started to connect into my heart space. And the heart space is it's a neutral space. It's a non-judgmental space. And it's like, how do I connect into the heart space? This is what I was thinking. How do I connect into the heart space when it's hard for me to love myself or feel worthy? And that's where you start. I started just touching my heart and I just started to breathe. And when I was breathing, I want to share with you, your imagination is also a gift from God. And so when I started breathing and I was saying, I want to feel loved, I want to feel I'm safe, I started to connect into like a inner hand, a essence of a hand. And that hand essence was of God, was of Jesus. So when I put my hand on my heart, I started imagining myself connecting, touching the hand of God or Jesus. And it became a prayer. So that's the hand of God or Jesus, and that's the hand you're touching, and you're doing this within your heart. And it's a prayer, and like, I am being blessed, I am being guided. And I don't know if I was pretending this, but it doesn't matter, because when you pretend something, you're actually, I would say, intending it to happen. So I started to pretend and connecting inward and feeling like, oh, this is really God. This is Jesus. This is the hand. They're touching my hand and they're saying, hey. And I just started breathing into that. And even the breath of God starts breathing you, because we're made of the image of the Creator. And we're originally made of the image of the Creator. And that Creator blew breath into each and every one of us. And that is why when they say, it's very true, when you get stressed out, you can put your hand on your heart, or you close your eyes and just start to breathe. And you feel calmer when you slowly start to breathe. It's because God is breathing with you. That is God's breath breathing with you. And that is how I started to interconnect. I just started to touch my heart, because it was hard for me to, in the beginning, this was like a long time, 20 years ago. I've been doing this quite a while. But it was hard in the way beginning when I was much younger to calm my mind down, to meditate, to sit and close my eyes. So I just started to connecting in, putting my hand on my heart, and I even started to say the word God or love. And I just started to say that over and over, so I don't get caught up in the ego part of the mind chattering. And doing that started my journey into the self-care. And thank goodness for that. Because when you start to self-care like that within yourself, you're connecting into your inner light. And that, I call it inner lightment, because you are meant. We're born, we're meant to connect into our inner light, because that's the organic source of who we are. And I get excited about this because it brings joy in you when you start to interconnect. And when you start to connect into your inner light, it's like an exercise. It's inner lightments. So when I started doing this, when other people on the outside or people get upset because it's their own stuff that they're going through, or your friends, or it can be a family member, it can be like, well, I don't like you. They're saying, I don't like you because you do this or whatever. you can just the connect inward to your inner source and not be so triggered by the outside world. The triggers start to diminish. And the more you connect inward, the more the essence of that higher energy starts to work within your mind, within your thoughts, because it's a language that it's sending out. It's a language, which is the energy language. There's energy language anywhere, everywhere. We do it all the time. It can be negative or it can be positive. It can be hate. It can be meanness. It can be non-judgmental. It can be unconditional love. It's how we want to live and feel. How do you want to live and feel in your life? That's what it's about. So that is how I started to not be so triggered by other people. I'm not saying I'm perfect. Of course I get triggered. But the trigger, it's interesting. The trigger isn't so intense anymore. And then when you feel the trigger, you're training your body, you're training your energy to go inward and connect into the unconditional love of God, of your angels, your guides. You connect into that. And that starts to change you. It starts to change your perception. It starts to change you in a way of you start to self-care yourself. And then you begin to feel worthy of having better friendships, or feel worthy of also creating boundaries on how you teach others how to treat you. And if they can't do that, you just go inward and you connect in and you just connect more into a higher frequency. You start to magnetize other new friendships. And the rest of the lower frequency just kind of fades away. And that's really important because nowadays people, you turn on the TV and it's like, what the fudge? Like, really? This all people being upset with each other, and it's like violence. It's crazy. But we can't control that. But what we can do is go more inward and bring in a high frequency and connect into God, connect into Jesus, connect into those essence of our angels. Because they're here, they're with us all the time. And they're like, hey, we're waiting for you to call upon us. Because they won't connect in if you're not open to wanting to connect into them. And that is a power. That is a superpower that God gifted us. Is the connections through the essence, through the energy essence of the higher guides. And that's what I want to talk about. That's what I guess I just wanted to share, that you're very powerful and you don't need to give your power away to others, especially if they don't honor the person you are or honor themselves. in a loving manner. You don't need to do that. You're better than that because you're loved. You're loved from the inside out. And it's so cool. The inside, the essence of all the beautiful divine connections. And then out is when you start to manifest beautiful, loving, unconditional, new friendships to you, new relationships, a new job. This is how we manifest differently. It's about self-caring ourselves. And it's about connecting into your inner light meant. Because you're meant to be the organic light that you are. I love you guys. And just thank you for listening. And I hope this helps in some way. We're not perfect, but we do have a guidance within ourselves that's always there and will never let you down. I love you guys.